Howdy, howdy, howdy do. Evening all. Welcome, Who fans, one and all, to live stream number 5. Joined by this guy. Who's this guy?
Hi.
Who's this dude?
Hello.
Who's this fella?
God, I can see myself on the screen. I'm a little bit close. Let me just move. It's a bit too close for... there we go. Not that I'm vain or anything. Just you're all... I can see you on my little iPad. You're all perfectly positioned, and I'm just like I'm like the face of Bo. Just a big old face on the screen. Yeah.
Welcome, one and all. It's so cool to be on a live stream with my bud, co-host, old Ad to the Geek's Handbag. Those of you that have joined us many times before on the podcast, on the live stream, welcome. Those of you that are here fresh and new, don't know who we are, my name's Gary, this is Adam, and we run a weekly Doctor Who podcast that goes out every single Friday, which you can check out on any podcast app or network where you listen to your podcasts on, or head over to the website www.bigblueboxpodcast.co.uk. And again, if you're here fresh and you don't subscribe to the YouTube channel, do that. Because we do regular live streams now. So I've been running these solo because Adam has been mega busy over the last few weeks in his job. But now that we're on lockdown, he's got a bit more time. So, yeah, I thought it'd be a good time to hang out with you guys and chat Doctor Who and all that stuff. So as a very quick test, because this is our first one and we always suffer with technical gremlins and cybermats and all the rest of it, can you guys hear us okay?
Talking of cybermats, I've got one here. He was in the system earlier, so we've got rid of that one.
Actually, yeah, it's a good point. We did have a cybermat before we started streaming. So
it's always something. There's always something in there. We just...
Always something, yes. Who have we got online this evening? Let's have a look at all of you lot. Thank you so much for joining us. I say this every week, and I completely mean it 100%, that I 100% assume I'm going to turn up and it's just going to be me streaming and it's going to say 0 viewers. I'm just going to be waffling by myself. So thank you so much, guys. Who have we got? Matt Steele, Who've Callium, and Who Addicts. Welcome aboard, guys. I don't know if this is Matt, Liv, or both, but whoever.
And Billy.
Waving. And Billy, yeah, Billy. Ad, our good friend Ad, Craig Matthew, Ryan McGiven, Alex Kingdom, Jean-Luc Harry, Zach Jenkin, Joe Bowers, Craig Matthew, Doctor Who Forever, Whoving Callum, Matt Steele, Will, how are you, buddy? Dean Jones, Zach Jenkin, John Griffiths, how you doing, buddy? Craig Bryce, how you doing, mate? Martin Arnold, how you doing, buddy? Who else we got? Dan Fox, Who Books, The Monado. Oh, so cool to see all you guys. Welcome aboard this evening.
A lot of familiar names there.
Yes, a lot of recognise a lot of you guys from either Adam's channel on YouTube, The Geek's Handbag, or the podcast. It's all good. It's all good. The man, the myth, the beard, and the happy man in shorts. We've actually got a bit of getting a bit of a lumberjack beard going on at the moment.
Yeah, you're overtaking me in the beard stakes, aren't you? A little bit now.
Yeah, yeah, dude, looking a bit scruffy because there's no barbers open at the moment.
If your ears were burning last night, mate, it's because I was looking at some old photos because my laptop cracked up. I was transferring some photos, and I come across some of the old Copthorne events that we went to, and I was just saying, you look a lot different. No offense, you look younger. I mean, don't mean that in a bad way, because you've matured, you've grown into your look, and you look great. But you do look really young. I think it was probably the first event we went to. And you're sort of wearing a checkered shirt, and it was when there was like a Dalek, and we're posing in front of the Dalek, and yeah, man, you do look different.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, how many years ago was that? It's not that long ago, is it?
The Day of the Doctors event at the Copthorne.
I think it must. I think it's the one when you met Tom, but I'm not 100% sure.
Yeah, it was. So that was back in 20.
It might have been 2016, actually. I'm trying to think. Yeah.
Yeah, I was clean shaven then and a bit slimmer.
That's what it is. You're clean shaven. Yeah, totally different.
Indeed, yeah. So yeah, that was donkeys years ago. Christ.
Then you saw my impressive beard, and you thought, I got to get me one of those.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, it was like, and also the wife likes the beard as well. Whenever I tease her at certain points, I tease her. I get the beard trimmer, and she's like, "What are you doing?" As soon as she hears it, she's like, "What are you doing?" And I'm like, "Oh, I thought I'd shave it off at the minute and just grow fresh." And she does end up. But yeah, we always get a bit of beard envy.
A bit of beard envy.
Yeah. Not difficult, guys. Just Just don't shave. And then when it grows
I
a
know.
bit, just cut it in.
I'm just useless at it because the thing is I can never trim it properly, so I always just end up just messing it up, and I have to shave it all off. And I hate being clean shaven. I really don't like being clean shaven. But that's the thing: being trapped indoors, you've got a good excuse just to completely let yourself go. Just you don't need to worry about anything. You don't need to worry about your hair. You don't need to worry if you smell because you're trapped indoors. You haven't got to socialise, and yeah, thankfully, over the internet, these social gatherings they don't give smell-o-vision, so no one knows.
That's a bonus for sure.
Yeah. If I keep looking to the side, it's because the comments are over here. So forgive me if I'm not looking directly at you you lovely people out there. But all my comments are at the side, so that's why I haven't got like a crooked neck or anything. Just keep looking to the side.
No worries, dude. Everyone says loud and clear. All good, Gary. But your camera is like half a second ahead of your audio. Oh, okay. Yeah, I did fiddle with the sync settings a little while ago. I'm not sure if I've got that right. It's probably out a little bit. So apologies if if my audio is not quite in sync. I just did make a quick change, but I don't know if I have to restart everything. So I'm not going to do that. But there we go.
My computer was cutting off. Literally, like we had I think the countdown was down to a minute, wasn't it?
Yeah.
And I thought I wasn't going to be here because it literally my laptop just kept going into sleep mode. It didn't matter what I did, and I was like, oh man, of all the times for this to suddenly just decide to do it. But touch wood, and I'm almost frightened to move in case it does it again. But touch wood, it seems to be all right. But also filming our Inferno review last week, we had a very similar problem, didn't we? That I was all set out, ready to go. I was in good time for once in my life because I'm not very good at timekeeping, as Gary will tell you. For once, I was all set up, ready to go because we were recording it in the afternoon. So I'd actually woken up for once and got the laptop switched on. I'd got Skype up and running. I was like, yeah, I'm good to go. I'm going to surprise Gary. I'm going to be on time today. And then, yeah, literally as we were about to record, didn't it? My laptop just completely froze and cracked up. And we just couldn't get it going. And obviously, because we were doing it in the afternoon, the day was slipping away. And Gary was like, I think I'm going to have to do it solo, dude. And I was like, no, because I love this story. I was like, give me 1 more minute. Anyway, we finally just literally at the last second, wasn't it? We just literally came good and we managed to get it recorded. But it was a bit like tonight. It was absolutely to the bone, wasn't it? To the last second.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, it was. Yeah, we have weeks like that, though. We can go for like 5 or 6 weeks and not have any issues whatsoever. We'll log on, we'll get Skype going. I'll get those of you that are interested in podcast stuff. I upgraded to a piece of kit at the end of last year called the Rodecaster Pro, which is like this all-in-one solution thing. And so that's normally all working fine, and we get it all done, and it's all good. But we just have these certain weeks where don't know what it is, but we have no idea what it is. It just. I
always worry as well. My biggest fear every single week that we record. So Gary has this little box. I think you posted a picture of it many yonks ago. This little box that he records it all on and all that sort of stuff. And then at the end of the thing, he presses stop and it's all good and it's in the can. But there was one time, wasn't there, where we were just waffling away. I can't remember how far we got into the podcast. And you suddenly went, oh my God, I haven't pressed record. And you were like, you got the little box and you were like, oh no. But from memory, correct me if I'm wrong, we hadn't got that far into it, had we? We were sort of about maybe 20 minutes in or something like that.
It was about that, yeah.
Yeah, and so every time now I think of that, because I almost want to say, is that thing going? But
yeah, it's crazy.
I don't want to doubt you. I'm sure he's pressed record, but yeah, it goes through my mind every week.
Yeah, so that happened before we upgraded to the Rodecaster, actually. So on my previous setup, I used to have this big mixer board thing, and I used to route everything into that, like Adam's Skype audio input, my microphone, and I had a soundboard on my iPad. I used to route everything in there and use a mix minus system so Adam can hear echo and all that stuff. And I used to route it all out into this little this portable recorder. And the record button on that was tiny and it didn't have a light or anything. So there was one time where like about 15 or 20 minutes in, I looked down and it was still flashing. It wasn't solid, this tiny little indicator light. So I was thinking, oh crap, like dude, we're gonna have to do this all again, this whole bit. But so on the new one I've got, the Rode, anyone that's seen one of these, I'm looking at it now actually. I'm not using it to record, but I'm using it for the microphone and everything. it's got a massive button at the top, which is like flashing bright green at me. And when I hit record, it flashes a really bright red, solid red color. So it's unmistakable. Like you can't get around it. So
mind you, that'd be no good to me because I'm colorblind. I wouldn't have a clue. I can't tell green and red. I'll be just looking at it, going, yeah, look, I need old-fashioned wheel cogs
to
know that something.
Like,
yeah.
We're going live, just cranking.
That's it. But yeah.
No, I read you, dude. It's So in a nutshell, 8 times out of 10, we're all good when we record. But there are these times where it's just. We do have to power through, but
the other thing is your soundboard clip, isn't it? I don't know if you've got any of these outtakes kept, but the other thing that occasionally gets us is your little. So because we sort of record it as a radio show, don't we? We don't. I know some podcasts they'll sort of record it in bits and edit it together, but we try and record it like as live, don't we? So that it's all kind of. What you hear is what we do. We do very little, as little editing as we can. So Gary will play in all the clips live, like all the reviews and stuff when you guys send in the audio reviews, but also like the trailers and things. Gary will normally play all them in live, but occasionally that little soundboard clip decides it's going to give you. You get a few gremlins in it, doesn't it? And it cracks up. We've had that a few times. Like you'll say, right, here's I don't know. Is Ian from France, and then it will start playing like some sound effect or so. Bloop, 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 bloop. Like, oh well, yeah. So we have fun with that as well.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, and there's also loads of times as well which you don't hear on the final recording is where, I'll say something along the lines of, and I was watching Doctor Who, and then the TV cut out, and I was like, oh shit. And then I have to oh no, I swore. So we don't.
Oh yeah.
So we're like a PG family-friendly podcast. So Adam and I have done that loads of times where we're sort of ranting or having a scatterbrain moment, and we'll just curse, and then we have to be like, right, that's another edit. We'll have to take that one out and redo it. So. Yeah.
You've done that a few times because my language off of the podcast is quite shocking, actually, especially if I've had a drink. I've noticed when we go to BFI that I seem to, without meaning to, throw in F's and blinds left, right and centre. I blame the drink. But when we get the podcast, it's like I go into some sort of don't know, PG mode. I'm normally pretty good, but yeah, you a few times have let one slip, and it's like, oh yeah, we suddenly everything grabs something. Oh, need to edit that out.
Yeah, there's been some colourful language.
Yeah, especially during Series 11.
Yeah, which you won't hear on the final thing. But excuse me. Let's answer a few questions. By the way, there's no agenda for this evening. By the way, in the last live streams, I've had a subject that I've wanted to chat with you guys about and do some Q&A, but nothing too heavy tonight. Just what it would be called, just to hang out and chat with you guys. So no agenda, no Who chats to get through, but. I'm trying to grow a beard Delgado style during the lockdown. Similar to the Tony Stark beard. So that's a bit tricky to do. You need a decent trimmer for that because you need to get a defined shape. You need to be able to sort of make it thin and then sort of, yeah. So fair play, Will. If you can do that, mate, then crack on. It's all good. This is so weird, says Dan Fox. It's like a proper podcast, but with visuals. Yeah, it's actually, dude. You know what? This is probably the closest we're going to get to a live podcast. Loads of people said that, but
you've wanted to do that for ages, haven't you? I remember, way back when you sending me that text. Do you remember when I thought you'd been on the Source? Of all these grand plans you got, you were like, I really want to do this. I want to get a backdrop, and and we record in front of it, and we were like, okay. So Gary's wanted to do this for quite some time, and the closest we got to it up until this point was when you come up to my house that time. Do you remember? That was another technical fiasco. That was for episode 200, wasn't it?
That's right. Yep.
Yeah, so we were going to do a special. I think that was to launch the YouTube channel. Again, it was one of those, grand plans. Right? Yeah, let's record us doing it. Let's get a video camera set up, which we did, and let's record it live from your house, and all that. And we took some pictures so we could update the website in front of my curtain, and we did all this stuff. And I can't remember what happened, but the audios were all out of sync, and we couldn't use any of it, could we?
It's terrible. It was really bad. And one of my cameras, I set up 2 cameras as well. One of those just conked out after like 20 minutes. So,
Yeah, got like nightmare.
yeah, so I thought, well, that's not too bad because we can, at a push, we can ditch the video and we can just go with live audio. This is like one of our first podcasts that we've done in the same room, or the only one we've done in the same room.
Yeah.
So we just go with that. But that didn't work out either. It was terrible. It was like echo was all over the place, and I was coming into Adam's mic. We had this feedback loop. So every time when one of us was talking, there was this echo anyway. But then when we both started to talk, there was this really high pitched whistling sound because there was a feedback loop and everything. It wasn't our finest hour.
No
technical stuff, but yeah. So I've wanted to do these things for ages. I remember that clearly. I think it was a couple of years ago. I texted Adam. It was like 10 to midnight. I was like, dude, I want to do all this stuff. And he was like, you're right, mate. You had a few beers tonight. I was
been on the sauce.
Yeah. So yes.
Yes, because I remember the other thing you wanted to do, which was to do like a sort of story, wasn't it? I've only just remembered this as well. This is another thing on your grand list. I thought, what's he on about? And then I thought, okay, that sounds quite cool. But you wanted to do like a little mini cartoon strip story every week, didn't you? And we were going to record it with like a cast and things like that. And then I think we figured that it was hard enough to get a podcast recorded, let alone a full cast audio. But that would have been cool.
Yeah, I had a script worked out as well, a very rough idea. Like we were going to do a Big Finish style story, but we were going to do it in like little chunks. So every week on the podcast, you'd get a 10-minute sort of mini episode, and there would be 10 of those, and they would form this audio play, this audio story, Big Finish style, basically. So we're going to do this thing where the Doctor has. I came up with a very rough idea that the Doctor had crashed in their TARDIS, and they had no recollection of who they were or where they were or anything. And we had two companions that came to sort of rescue them, really. We had Ace and we had Susan, and those two companions had came to the Doctor's rescue. They had seen something on the news about something crashing somewhere, so they had gone there. But also there was like a rogue. It was either a rogue Cyberman or a rogue Dalek or something like that, had also seen this crash as well, and it was making its way to try and kill the Doctor. And then he met up with some other people as well, and trying to get his memory back and trying to figure out what he was about. And then it sort of built up and culminated where in sort of the 2-part finale he had remembered who he was or who they were. And there was like a big showdown with this Dalek or Cyberman. I can't remember. I'll have to dig the script out. And then, so it was going to be, we was going to get some other people to do voices on it, and we're going to get some proper sound effects and some music and stuff, and do a proper Big Finish style thing. But as always with everything, it's just time and resources and all that stuff. But yeah, might look to pick that up later in the year, maybe if we can work something out. But
it does sound good.
Yeah.
Adam's also reminded me that you were going to do a convention. That was another grand plan.
So those of you that have seen or heard of Adam, the Ultimate Whovian, you'll know him as Tall Ad, or just Ad if you've seen him at conventions or on Twitter, whatever. We always have this running joke every time we go to an event of some sort. We always say like, right, so when are we going to sort this Doctor Who convention out then? Because we've got some cool ideas for that as well. Because we've been to so many, and we've gone through events big and small and everything. We sort of picked out like the good bits from each of those types of events and stuff. So but again, that's just that's more of a drunken thing. But
I do love that idea though. I think because I know how difficult conventions are to put together and stuff. I know it'd be like really difficult, but it's I do love the idea of us doing a convention. I think it'd be great. I've always said to Adam, and kind of giving away all our ideas and secrets here. Well, a bit, if Big Finish are listening, they're probably nicking all these, but a bit like they did with your Clive idea, which is now in production, which is great. But yeah, no, I've always loved the idea of doing like a convention at the school from Remembrance of the Daleks. So doing like a, Remembrance of the Daleks convention. So you get Sylve like back at the school and get the countermeasures team there and all that sort of stuff. I always think that'd be great because I don't think it's a a school anymore. I think it's used for like adult learning or something. So I think, you know, it's possible. But yeah, I'd love to do that. But the sort of logistics and the money and work, it's such a complicated thing to do, conventions, especially at the minute with all the virus and stuff. I mean, we were having this discussion the other night about LFCC, and we were saying, like, at the moment it's still going ahead. So that's July. But I can't see any sort of actor really wanting to put himself in that environment, even in a couple of months' time, you know, because the virus might have sort of cleared up by then, but it won't have gone away. You know, it's not just going to sort of disappear overnight. So I sort of think this isn't, even when it's sort of getting to a good place, it's not going to blow over quick enough for sort of people to want to start sort of attending conventions, I don't think, for any time soon. I mean, it'd be really interesting to see if LFCC does go ahead, who actually, in terms of like celebrities, who they actually get, because I don't know, I just can't imagine people wanting to be around crowds of people even then.
Yeah.
Can you imagine them just getting, like, you know, third stormtrooper from the left and
the guy
Jabba's hand puppet tear or something.
Yeah, the guy that turned the lights off at the end of the BBC recording day. You'll get him in as well. He must have seen a few things. Yeah, I know what you mean, dude. It's especially in that venue as well for LFCC. I've ranted and complained and whinged about this for God, 5 years now. They just need to upgrade that venue, because they say that they don't overcapacitate, but they definitely do. I've said it loads of times. You know, it's especially
fire
upstairs.
hazard.
If there was a fire or an emergency, you know, good luck getting out in a decent time. Put it that way, but. Yeah, dude, I can't imagine LFCC going on still. I don't know.
I can't either. I mean, I know it's a few months away, but I don't know. I can't see it. If it does, it's not going to be packed and crazy like I think we've seen in the past.
Nah. Who else we got? Lee Clow. Lee Clow or Lee Clow? Sorry, Lee. As always, butchering names. So glad to join my first live stream. Love the podcast. Oh, cheers, guys.
Oh, really?
Cheers, Lee.
I thought you'd been in before, Lee. Yeah.
Who, Alex? I'm assuming this is Matt. What is the mic you're using, Gary? I'm looking to upgrade. This is the Rode Procaster mic, which I've had for a couple of years now. But I'm going to change this soon, buddy. In a couple of months, I'm going to get the Shure SM7B. So I'm going to upgrade to that one. But no, this is a great mic, though, the Rode Procaster. To both you guys, what do you believe to be the best Doctor Who / Who related commercials? For me, it's the Prime computer and the old character options adverts. The old character options.
Oh, yes.
That's from Ad. The best commercials.
I mean, Prime is a great one with Tom and Lala. They are fantastic. The only one I can really think of is the Troughton one. Is it for like Zoom lollies or something? You know, when it's not even Troughton, it's like someone in Second Doctor cosplay at a sort of wooden console, and then a Zoom lolly pops up, and I think it's on an extra on one of the DVDs. That's the only one I can think of.
Yeah, that was.
What? Oh no, there was a Dalek one, wasn't there? What was that for? A couple of years ago. Actually, no, it must be a few years ago, because I remember that was the thing that Terry Nation Estate got a bit cross about, because they said the Daleks are being made to look silly, and they stopped letting them being used for like adverts. What was that for?
Oh, that was before 2005.
Must have been before the new series, yeah. It was for like Royal Mail or something.
I can't remember.
Yeah.
I can't remember what. Yeah, I vaguely remember that though. That was before.
There is an advert with.
I remember that.
There is an advert with a smoking Dalek. I've no idea what it's for, and it's really old, but it does surface on in like Twitter memes and stuff. Do you know the one I mean? It's got like a Dalek, and he suddenly gets a little claw. Yeah, I think it is. He gets like his little sort of cigarette in his little claw. I don't know what. Yeah, it's obviously really old advert, but I do kind of like that.
Yeah, I do remember that. I saw that on YouTube actually.
Yeah,
years back now. Yeah, I didn't see it when it went out, but yeah. So yeah, there's a few different ones. Ad. Yeah, but you don't really see much in the way of commercials for Doctor Who these days. It's all very the franchise. We need to protect the franchise. We can't be all that lot. So who else we got? Maria. Hey Maria, one of our writers.
Hello.
Hey, howdy do. Who else we got? Beefy. Beefy's late as always. Dirty. Joe Bowers. Doctor Who Forever. Good name. Zach Jenkin. Hello, dude. We're in London regardless, geeks. And it's your birthday. This is very true.
Yep. It is my birthday weekend, yeah.
Yep. I don't see LFCC happening in July. All I've booked is entry tickets so far, says Dean Jones. Yeah, sensible, mate. I wouldn't book anything else just yet.
No.
People who would usually crew for LFCC haven't had anything yet, which says to me it's pretty unlikely. Yeah, it's true, mate. Beefy. Miles McKenzie, hello. How's all keep going in these uncertain times? Yeah, we're doing all right, thanks, mate. We're just sort of buggering on, really. Yes, but that's the whole reason for keeping these streams going, really, and all that stuff, because we're aware that we're all trapped indoors and stuff, but we've got internet and stuff, so streams, yeah, streamage.
Have you been watching the ones that? So did you watch the Vincent and the Doctor one last night?
No, I didn't.
Oh right, because Matt Smith and Bill Nye were like on Twitter as a joint sort of account, just for the watch along.
Yeah, I saw that.
And also Karen Gillan as well tweeted a few things. It was really good, actually. I mean, I've always liked that story. I've always liked that episode, but it is great to watch it along with other people. I know you've said this many times about how awesome it is to watch it with fellow Who fans, and I suppose I think Ad described this. It's a bit like a virtual pub, isn't it? Yeah, so like you're all online, you all start it dead on 7. Mm-hmm. But the mothball's coming back this Friday.
The mothball.
He's coming back the mothball is coming back on Friday to do a watch along of 11th Hour.
That's right.
So yes, I'll try and get on that one as well, because I'm loving these. I'm loving these watch alongs. I think it's great.
They are cool. Yeah, I did the first couple. Do you know what? Last night I had such a busy day at work. And it was one of those days where it got to about 6 o'clock. I just turned my laptop off, turned it all off, went and jumped in the shower, had some dinner. And then like literally a couple of hours went past. I hadn't even picked up my phone. And then all of a sudden I thought, damn it, I've missed the watch along. So yeah, I did. My own fault. I completely forgot.
You did watch the Rose one though, didn't you?
Yeah, that was cool.
And how awesome that Clive joined Mark Benton.
Come on, Clive.
I know.
Clive, what such a great character. Come on.
He said he'd love to come back as well. Someone said to him, would you come back? He's like, oh, in a heartbeat. And then Russell tweeted something like, well, I'm afraid you've been shot in the head. And he's like, what? I know. Russell was harsh.
Oh, no.
I'll tell you what I love, though, is that Russell, so, like the Moth was on Twitter for his watch along of Day of the Doctor, but he left straight away afterwards, didn't he? Mm-hmm. But Russell, he's still on Twitter. He hasn't left like the Mothball. He hasn't sort of just turned up and then gone. He's still on there doing a few tweets. So I reckon he's signed in and he's thinking, oh, this is good. He's, I might just hang around. So nobody, or I nearly swore myself there, nobody go and pee off Russell. We don't want anybody annoying, because I don't want him to leave, because it's great having him on Twitter.
Yeah, no, I agree. I knew the Moth was going to go. I knew as soon as it was done.
Yeah, because
he can't stand it. He can't stand having the having people just beating him up every 10 minutes. So I knew he was going to go. Mm-hmm. But yeah, that was cool. I mean, Russell's he's such a dude.
I love him.
Great guy. But yeah, so who else we got? Martin Arnold, third stormtrooper from the left, does all the hard work and gets no glory.
I want to meet the one who banged his head in A New Hope.
Oh, classic.
That's the one I want to meet. I'm surprised Lucas didn't retcon that. He probably tries. He probably thought, oh no, I must get that sorted. I must get that changed.
Well, there was no time, dude. It's interestingly, when they were making A New Hope, if you there's anyone that's got Disney Plus, they've added this documentary on there, and it's on one of the special features from the DVDs years ago. But there's an amazing documentary called Empire of Dreams, the making of the Star Wars trilogy. And it's just the original trilogy. And it's about a 2.5 hour long documentary. And half of it is all about A New Hope. And there's an interesting parallel to Doctor Who, because they filmed it all at Elstree. And they had exactly the same problem. At 5:30, when they were going through scenes, all of the British crew said, right, it's 5:30, we're out of here.
Yeah.
And George Lucas was like, well, we're in halfway for a shot. And that's like, well, you can finish your shot, and then we're turning the lights off, and then we're going. So some of those scenes, they literally didn't have time to go back and correct it. So once they had filmed them, and then they'd watched like the bits, I suppose, afterwards, they'd noticed things and like, well, you can't do anything. You know, that's wrapped and moved on. So it was a lot like early Doctor Who. But the old stormtrooper knocking his head, it's just, it's just amazing. It's just one of those characters that is almost as famous as like the other main characters. It's brilliant.
Yeah, we love stuff like that as well, don't we? If you just notice it, because it's noticeable, but it's not. You could sort of blink and you'd miss it.
Yeah. Brilliant. Who else we got in the chat?
I saw someone earlier who said something about Legopolis way up near the beginning. Who was that? Who Books, I think it was, or somebody said they'd been watching Legopolis. Was it? Just going back up now, and I can't remember if we reviewed Legopolis. Can I talk about it? Let me have a look. I don't think we have we? Or have we? Oh, I always lose track of what we have and haven't reviewed. I'm going to check the schedule before I say another word about Legopolis.
Have we reviewed Legopolis?
All right, I'm on our lovely little spreadsheet. Let's have a look. Invasion of Time, blah, blah, blah. Gosh, we've done none of Key to Time. You'd be surprised to hear. Oh, yeah. Oh, no, we haven't. No, really?
We haven't?
No, we haven't. Oh. No, we haven't. I didn't think we did. Okay, that's fine. Well, I won't say anything about Legopolis then. Because I never like to ruin it in case, I always like to keep our thoughts on episodes a surprise until we actually... And I never tell Gary either. Like, we try purposely, don't we? Whatever we're reviewing, we don't talk about it until we actually get to the review part.
Yes. Yep. My chat's frozen.
Oh, has it? Let me see if mine has. Yeah, Who Book says yes, that was me. So yeah,
Legopolis. So
let me know what did you think of Legopolis? Who Books? You can tell us.
Legopolis. Did we do that one, dude?
No, we didn't. Sorry, no, I'm asking Who Books, who commented on it. No, I just wondered if he liked it, but no, we haven't reviewed it yet. So, better not say anything.
We haven't reviewed it yet. No, I thought so. Yeah.
No, we haven't.
I read you.
Can you still see the comments or not? So the last comment is from the Who Addict saying, "Control and F5 it, Gary."
Yeah, I'm doing that at the minute.
He's doing
the old refresh, but
While you're doing that, what would people in the chat like to see as the next watch along? Like, what would you guys like to see them do? Because they're becoming quite a thing now, aren't they?
The next watch along. I would like to see something like
a Tenant. Surely we could do with a Tenant one, couldn't we?
Yeah, I was going to say something quite funny, like I don't know, like Partners in Crime or something like that.
Oh,
that could be quite cool.
Do you know, I'd love that. I haven't watched that for yonks.
It's quite a light-hearted one, isn't it? I think it would be a good for a watch along.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like watching that myself. Girl in the Fireplace, Craig Boyce says. Stolen Earth, Journey's End, yeah.
Girl in the Fireplace. Yeah, that'd be a good one.
What's this? Torchwood. Oh, so they're doing a Torchwood one on Thursday, apparently. So is Barrowman going to be tweeting along on that?
Well, possibly. He normally gets involved where he can, can't he?
Where he can, and sometimes where he can't.
So, yeah, yeah, old cheeky, old jazz hands. But yeah, he normally gets involved. So
I just literally finished watching Torchwood about 20 minutes before we started the live stream. Obviously ready because we'll be recording our review of it tomorrow. So I've got that fresh in my brain, ready for tomorrow. Can still see Billis's eyes. If I close my eyes, I can still see them burning through me. It's one shot where it's just his eyes. I'm like, oh my god, scary,
right,
scary eyes.
Chat back. We're back in the game.
You've got it back. Yep. He's back in the game. Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah, there was a So no, we haven't done Legopolis. Yeah, so watch alongs. Yeah, some Tenant ones would be good by now.
Yeah.
Who else we got? Hoping Collectomania will go ahead. That's September. Yeah, hopefully we'll be like past all like the craziness of it by then, and they've relaxed some of the rules and stuff. So that should be good. Craig Bryce, during these worrying times,
Leslie-
what story cheers you up the most? Mine is The Time Meddler. Cheers me up the most. Well, Partners in Crime. Unicorn and a Wasp is a good one. What else? An Unearthly Child. It's a great one.
I had a real desire to watch that the other day.
Visitation's a good one.
Yes.
Actually, Vincent and the Doctor's a good one from the watch along. Although it's got an emotional ending, it's like it's still a great story. Still a really good. Yeah.
It does make you feel good, because after watching it last night, I felt even now it still really hits you in the heart, and it is kind of sad, but it also is quite feel good, isn't it? Because you just, that moment of him getting to see the recognition, it's such a beautiful moment. So even though it is sad, it's quite a good feel good one. That so beautifully shot as well, like Karen, the shots of Karen, Amy Pond with all the yellow flowers and that. It's just a beautiful episode. That is.
Yeah. And it looks like as a lot of the Matt Smith episodes from that point onwards, they all look like sort of mini films. They just look so cinematic and lovely, and
Yes. Yeah, they definitely upped the budget for that series. It looks like it anyway. Leslie Sheargold says it's Kit Kats, I think, the Dalek commercial. I think she's right.
No.
Do you remember that, Gary? They did these Kit Kat commercials with the Daleks. I think she's right. And they were sort of made to look a bit silly. And I remember that the nation estate sort of regretted letting them be used, I think. And after that said, no, they sort of clamped down on the Daleks being used, which I think is why Russell had a problem trying to get them back for, when the show returned, because they were being really like, well, we need to see the script. We need to make sure they're going to be frightening. And because they felt like the Daleks had become a bit of a joke.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Like people were sort of laughing at, like used to get sketches like, what's that? What's his name? The Spike Milligan sketch where the Dalek comes in. They'd sort of been used as a sort of comedy material for a while, and I think the Terra Nation estate suddenly decided that, it was getting too much, so they clamped down on it.
Well, yeah, I can believe that.
Yeah.
Maria, Utopia. Crap.
Oh, it's great. I love it. I love Utopia. Absolutely love it. Yeah.
Leslie
brilliant
Sheargold,
story.
another commentary for the Five Doctors, akin to David Tennant's secret one hidden away on the DVD. Oh, okay.
What's that? What's
David
hidden on
Tennant,
DVD?
Commentary. Are you talking about the Series 3 DVD, Leslie? If you are, then that would be cool. Ad says, yeah.
Oh, yes, she's right. I've forgotten about that. Yeah.
I can't remember exactly, but yeah. Ad, the Brain of Morbius watch along. Yeah, that'd be cool. Need a bit more time, but that would be very cool. Craig Matthew, has this been the longest month in history? Do you know what? Frickin' hell, Craig. You're not wrong there, mate. March feels like it's gone on forever. I can't wait until tomorrow and get this bloody month out of the way. Christ. Matt Steele, not sure if you remember, Gary, but I emailed Big Finish with my ideas for a Sarah Jane continuation story with a modern day Ace included. They basically said they're not interested. Oh, no. Oh, Matt, that'd be cool.
Oh.
Didn't we mention on the show, bud, quite recently, within the last month, about how cool it would be for Ace to take up the whole Bannerman Road thing and rock on and get some of the previous cast members and sort of not replace Sarah Jane, but sort of continue the whole Attic crew thing, and that'd be quite cool.
Yeah.
Did they actually come back to you then and say sod off? Yeah, it's a good idea. Dan Peters, it's 13 years. Smith and Jones today. That would be a good one. Smith and Jones. Yeah, that's not bad. Not a bad one.
Martha and the Jadoon, isn't it? Yeah.
Hugh Addicts, I'll never get over the fact they funded Class Series 1 over another Torchwood. Well, we're big fans of Class. So
there's been a watch along of Class, isn't there? And it's funny how, because I'm really not a fan at all, and I was just seeing my Twitter filled up of people comments like, "Oh, it's actually pretty good," and "Oh, I've always liked it." I was thinking it's rubbish. It annoys me that it's even connected to Dot 2 because I did actually, and I've said this before, but I always feel bad saying this because I met Patrick Nestle. He's a really lovely guy, and I know the people who worked on it are lovely, so it's nothing against them. I just didn't enjoy the show, and so just to say, I'm not being horrible because I know that everybody involved in the show really put their heart and soul into it, so I appreciate that. But as a show, I just found it didn't, to me, fit alongside Dot 2 at all. It was just too violent. The stories weren't very good, but yeah, they did a class rewatch, and I know sort of some people were coming around to it, but I just can never get on board with it myself.
John Barrowman's just tweeted actually in the last few seconds. It says, "Hey everyone."
Oh, was he?
Hey, everyone,
he heard us, did he?
The episode is Captain Jack Harkness. Details for a worldwide watch along and after show Q&A below. So join Barrowman for our Torchwood watch along on the such and such. It links to the Radio Times, which is bloody helpful. Just put it in the tweet. Thursday, the 2nd of April. Captain Jack. So John Barrowman's going to do a watch along of the episode Captain Jack Harkness, which we reviewed a little while ago, dude. Yeah,
we quite liked that one, didn't we? That was the one where he gets stuck and we meet the real Captain Jack and all that. Yeah, it wasn't bad. Actually, that was the one before the one we're reviewing tomorrow, isn't it?
Yeah, it was.
Was it? Yes. Yeah. Because we've had quite a gap between the last time we reviewed Torchwood and now we're back on track. But yeah.
Yes. Welcome, chat. Welcome, everybody, to the live stream. It's really cool to have you on board, hanging out, chatting Doctor Who. This feels very much at home. This is just like the podcast, really. But
It is, yeah. Except we've got people.
Just.
I am aware that I probably should have turned the light on before I started because it was fairly daylight, and I've just realised that by the time we finish recording this, I'll probably be in pitch black. I should have, and there's no light that I can reach. The lights for this room are actually downstairs. I'll have to shout down.
I need to get a decent light in here. Yeah, I'm going to order one. Yeah.
Let me see if I can get some lights. Can I have some lights?
I'm going to order a decent key light. Here we go.
Wait for it. Oh, weirdly, it didn't make any. Oh, no, it has made a difference a little bit. There you go. You can see me. Thank you.
Right. What was I saying? Yeah. So welcome, chat. Welcome, everybody. Cool to have you. Yeah, Matt, the funding to class over Torchwood, it's just, it's ridiculous. Bloody. I mean, you have to say fair play on one hand. They gave it a go. They had like a new concept. They wanted to try another spin off, something else. But alas, it just ended up being absolutely dreadful. So, John Griffiths, it would be nice to have a watch along with one for each main enemy. Yeah, that'd be cool. Zach Jenkins says City of Death. That'd be a good watch.
I remember when Liv watched that from the Who Addicts and she hated it, and it's always really hard when you love an episode and then you see someone and they're just not getting into it. Because it's regarded as such a classic, and I think she was, I don't know, expecting something else.
Martin Arnold. Actually, Logopolis really cheered me up, along with Traken. Such great episodes, one really interesting season. Yeah, it's an interesting one, that one. Watch along of K9 and Company, Adam, says Alex Kingdom.
That's because I got absolutely hammered last week and ended up doing a live stream. We were watching K9 and Company till about 4 a.m.
Matt Steele, the plague.
I know. The plague.
I have a soft spot for the Lodger, to be honest. Oh, that's not a bad one to watch along. Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, I don't mind the Lodger.
What else we got?
Someone suggesting a watch along of the War Games. Oh, it's the Who Addicts. The War Games. Blimey, that. So how many hours is that? It's 10 episodes, isn't it? So there must be 5 hours then, I guess.
Yeah, so 4 hours.
That is a beast of a story.
50 minutes. That's crazy. War Games. We could do what the. I'm going to be a bit controversial here, but we can do what those dudes. You remember when Doctor Who magazine? I think it was last year or the year before. They hired like a whole team of kind of young Doctor Who fans. Some of them were involved with the show, like Crystal D and some other people. And I think one of them said that they just used to watch all the classic episodes on 1.5 speed to get
it's Crystal,
so they could do their reviews and stuff. So maybe we could do that and just watch it all on
War Games.
So that would 1.5 speed. That'll bring it down to at least 3-something hours. So yeah, it's not crikey. That would be one of those crazy crazy things to do, because over on I don't know if many of you guys watch any gamers on Twitch or anything like that, but sometimes those guys do like these crazy 24-hour streams. It's mental, but we could do something like that where we could just do like a whole day's worth of craziness. So yeah. Okay.
Somebody Ryan says if it'd be cool if they did a Scream of the Shelker watch along, and that's something I haven't watched for a very long time. Have you seen Scream of Shelker? Yeah, Richard E. Grant.
Yeah. If he's not busy, it would be cool though, just to kind of to dig out some of those more obscure, lesser watched, lesser known ones. That would be quite cool. The only thing is they're a bit more niche. Like it's not so sort of wider Who fandom would probably tune in for those ones, but it'd still be cool though. Yanto. Yeah. Oh, I like Class. Well,
yeah, it's got its fans. The Big Finish have picked it up.
Martin Arnold says Class, a show that sadly wasn't. Yeah, hit the nail on the head with that, mate. Anyone else see the video of our Prime Minister's address with Murray Gold music? I've not seen it.
Oh, yes, I did. It's brilliant. Have you not seen it? Oh, somebody tweet it to Gary. It's unbelievable how well it works.
Yeah.
Like, it is perfect. Yeah,
tweet me.
Somebody please.
That'd be cool. Yeah. Any of you guys listen to the Class box sets on Big Finish? Nope. Got no interest in listening. I think you have, actually, haven't you?
I listened to the first two, and that's it. Because they had Sophie Aldred. They got Ace back, didn't they, for like one of the stories in the first two sets? But I think it was in set number 2. And I thought, oh, okay, well, you know how much I love Ace. I thought, oh, let's give it a go. I mean, Big Finish are normally pretty good at like ironing out a few kinks. And I thought, maybe they've made something of it. And there wasn't anything particularly wrong with the two that I listened to. It just didn't. I just sort of didn't carry on, if you know what I mean. It's one of those where I sort of listened to them and they were okay, and I thought, yeah, I'll carry on because I want to hear the Ace story, and then I never did. But yeah, so yeah, I've listened to the first two. They were okay. I mean, they weren't anything special, but they were all right.
I think sort of ultimately, when you wrap it all up, Class is just crap. There's no way of getting around that issue. It's just, regardless if you're watching it on TV or Big Finish, it's just crap. So let's move on.
Gary has spoken.
Wrote some great books, including The Knife of Never Letting Go, thinking they're making films of them about Class. Yeah, to be honest with you, Patrick Ness as a writer is actually pretty decent. Yeah, it's just the whole thing's just a shame, really. You can't really lay all the blame at his door, but because he is, like I said, he's a decent writer. But yeah, how about we all do a big fat watch along of the war? Oh, you said that, yeah. It'd be cool if they did Scream of the Shelker. Gary's face when he found out about Adam steaming drunk until 4 a.m. Geeks is in trouble. Yeah, in trouble. Well, yeah.
This is what happens when I have a drink.
Exactly what happens.
That's why I'm on the tea. I'm being good.
I think Who Addicts would love Hellbent or the Wedding of River Song, right, guys? Yeah, let's not get Matt worked up. Let's keep it civil. Hopefully Wales Comic Con will still go on because, like I said last time, I'm going to meet John Barrowman, Freema Agerman, and Eve Miles. When's Wales Comic Con? Did they put that back? I think it was meant to go. I'm sure they postponed it and put it back to August or something like that. So hopefully that will go on. Yeah.
Yeah, because they were getting some really good guests as well. I've never done Wales Comic Con, But I was getting quite sort of jealous of, because like I'm a bit of a, once I find something I like, I tend to stick with it. So I sort of always think, I'll do LFCC because I'm familiar with it and I kind of know how it works. And I was seeing all these amazing Doctor Who guests being announced for Wales Comic Con. I was thinking, come on, LFCC, pull your finger out. Look at, they're getting all the Doctor Who people, like Tennant and, I can't remember who it was, but there's like, I think it was Tennant. Anyway, they were getting lots of good guests. And I thought, come on, LFCC. But yeah, who knows if it will still go ahead. Don't know.
Hopefully.
See, that's the thing with LFCC is they didn't have an amazing amount of people I wanted to meet announced so far this year. I think it was only Sacha Dhawan. He was the only one that I was thinking, well, if I do go, he's the only one I want to meet. So my wallet was pleased. But I'm assuming they had a few more people up their sleeve.
They must have done. They normally do. Even like a couple of weeks.
They do. Don't
they normally announce some big stars as well.
Yeah. Yeah.
So hopefully they will. Hopefully they'll still go ahead. I know. Yeah. So a couple of people have confirmed. Yeah. So Wales Comic Con's now August, which is cool. And yeah. So if LFCC does get cancelled, I've no idea when they're going to reschedule that because that venue is pretty much booked up throughout the year. So they'll have to get their negotiating hat on for that.
Yeah, because that's the other thing, isn't it? If they do rearrange stuff, they've still got to find a time when they can use the venues again, which are already booked up. So that complicates it as well.
Yes. You guys are coming up with some great suggestions, by the way. Craig Bryce says, I watched the Web Planet in one sitting once, almost killed me. Almost killed me. I watched that recently. The thing that gets me about it more than anything, though, is the smeared lens. I can sort of deal with the slow pace, and I can deal with the sound effects and everything else. But it's just they when they start smearing all that Vaseline on the lens, and you can't see half of what's going on. They call. All right, we're gonna go back. It's fine. There we go.
And just like that, we're back.
Just like that, we're back. Yeah. So I'm not sure what's going on with the internet. Well, I think the internet is just a bit crappy overall at the minute, guys. So sorry about that. So I'm looking at my streaming software. We haven't dropped any frames. It's literally just YouTube is a bit. I think they're throttling everyone's connection at the minute because there's so many people at home. But yeah, so sorry if we dropped out there, dudes. But we're back. Right. Getting back to the chat. Classic Who at 1.5 speed. Outrageous. I know, dude. I know. Not good. Terror of the Vervoids. Except nothing less, says Beefy. Wow. Terror of the Vervoids.
Colin.
Yeah. That could be, well, for comedy value. Yeah. Bring it on. Who books? It's on in late August now. Yeah, so Wales Comic Con. Yeah, has been Doctor Who Forever has to be. Oh, is that Will? Yeah, it has to be a Time and the Rani watch along. I love the soundtrack. To Time and the Rani.
It's funny, you can hear it as soon as you see the title, can't you? You can hear it in your head.
Yeah, I like it.
Dun, 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 dun. As many of you will know, I absolutely love Time and the Rani. I genuinely love Time and the Rani.
Yeah, it's not too bad.
Yeah, when we reviewed it, I thought this will go two ways. He'll either be like the majority of Who fans and think it's atrocious, or he'll be like me and just appreciate it for what it is. And you did kind of you don't love it like me, but you did give it a decent score when we reviewed it, didn't you?
Yeah, I think I gave it a 6.5 or a 7, something like that.
Yeah, it's just a fun restart, yeah.
Oh, man, it's pretty good. Matt Steele says, what do you both think of Battlefield? I've just finished watching it for the first time.
Oh,
Battlefield.
It's one I always struggle with. Always. It's the story that I want to love because I love the McCoy era, and it's probably the only story that I've only watched a couple of times. Like all of McCoy's stories, I frequently rewatch them. I love the McCoy era. Really love it. But there are two stories that I generally don't gravitate towards. and that's, sorry, Adam, the Ultimate Whovian, because you love this one, but that's Dragonfire and Battlefield. They're just the two stories for whatever reason I never really feel like particularly watching, but Battlefield in particular, I like some of the ideas in it, and so many people like it that every time I put it on, I kind of think, right, this will be the time that I see it through different eyes, like that remembrance moment for you. So the first time you watched Remembrance of the Daleks, and you just didn't get why people liked it. You were like, what is this? You know, you didn't really like it. But then, I don't know, it was about 6 months later, you just saw it through different eyes. I've always wanted that to happen with Battlefield. I've always, every time I put it on, I just hope that I'm going to be like, I really enjoyed that. But it just hasn't happened for me yet. I don't think it's awful, but it's just one that I never really can get into.
Yeah, it's a strange,
unfortunately.
Yeah.
Do you like it? Because I don't think we've reviewed it, have we?
I don't think so. I'll have a quick look.
Oh no, we must have done, because we've done all of McCoy, haven't we?
Yes, yeah, we have. Yeah, good point.
Yeah.
What do we give it though? So my only thing with Battlefield is, I find it strange with the whole blurring the lines between science or science fiction and magic. The whole magic thing. So, generally speaking, yes, it's not a bad one. It's pretty good, and McCoy is great as always. But I just find, just the whole magic thing, it's just
Merlin and all that.
It's okay. It's not one of the best McCoy ones, I don't think. Anyway, we haven't done all of them, dude. We haven't done the Curse of Fenric.
I thought we did that quite recently.
We went to see it at the cinema, didn't we?
No?
Blockhead.
Oh, is that what I'm thinking of? Yeah. Well, if you want to hear the review of Battlefield, it's episode 106, because I can't remember what we just scored it. But yeah, you're right. So we've still got Curse of Fenric to do. That's the only McCoy we haven't reviewed as well.
Indeedy. Yeah, 106. Here we go. Battlefield. We both gave it a 5.5. Yeah.
Oh, really? Okay. Yeah, I think that is what I would, off the top of my head, give it even now, yeah.
Not bad at all. Just not one of his best, that's all.
There will be no battle here.
Dean Jones, grateful for Wales Comic Con last year as he finally got his photo with David Tennant. Yeah, nice one, dude.
Oh, had to go and mention
Adam
it.
Hasn't had a drink tonight, otherwise you'd be called a few names there, Dean.
We'd have to get the rant jingle out if I'd had a few drinks tonight.
Yes, that one indeed. Yeah. Cannot see any conventions this year now, even if the lockdown gets lifted. Social distancing will need to be kept an eye on. Leslie, yeah. Well, that's the thing. That's what I was saying earlier. The venue that they do LFCC in, there's no way you could do 2 meters apart and still have that many people. It just wouldn't work. It wouldn't work at all. Craig Matthew, I sent you the PM and Murray Gold music. Honestly, the best thing you'll see in quarantine. Right, cool, man. I'll check it out. Cool.
You'll love it. You'll absolutely love it.
Alex Kingdom, just watch Planet of Fire. Small Master is brilliant.
I watched that the other night.
Small Master.
Completely forgot that the Master. Yeah, I'd completely forgotten that there's like a scene where she, like, I think it's one of the cliffhangers. She lifts open this box in the Master's TARDIS, and he's just in there in a little tiny control room. I think there's something about him. He's been tinkering around with a compression manipulator, and he just managed to shrink himself. Yeah. I completely forgot about that.
Yeah, I haven't seen that in Donkeys, mate. Planet of Fire.
Nor have I. That's why I bunged it on, because that's the thing. You said it earlier that I'm taking this time at being at home to watch ones that I don't normally watch, and that was one of them. I was thinking, that's a story I haven't watched in a long time.
Yeah, that's good. Someone said, why don't you guys do any more of the commentary shows?
Yeah, we should do some more commentaries. You're right.
Off the gas with that a little bit. It's just finding the time, mate. So when the first sort of few years of podcasting, the way that we had our jobs kind of syncs very nicely. Like Adam, like the kind of work that Adam did with his shifts and me working from home, we could do that sort of stuff. But then in the last year or so, or in the last year, I suppose, we've just both been quite busy with stuff, and our hours have changed a little bit and all that lot. So it really is just finding the time. But yeah, I mean, that's been on my mind for a little while now to get back into the commentaries. So we will definitely do that.
Yeah. I used to have a lot more time on my hands. My previous job was a lot more flexible in terms of the days I worked and stuff. But my new job, I just, well, it started off quite all right, but then I kind of got thrown into a sort of semi-managerial type role, and it just means I do so many more hours than I originally sort of signed up for. And it's, it's just very hard to find time to do it. I'm just not able to be as flexible unfortunately anymore, but it's just the way things go sometimes. But as long as we can always do the podcast, I'm happy. That's the thing I always said, like, as long as we can do the podcast, then I'm fine. But it would be nice if we had a bit more time. Like, that's why I'm kind of enjoying, I mean, I know the situation's awful, but I am enjoying being at home and actually having time to do things like this, for example, so yeah. Who knows? Maybe we'll be able to get a couple of commentaries done at some point in the future.
Who knows? Who
knows?
Matt from Who Addicts did say something like, Web Planet. I think he said, "Shoot me. I like the Web Planet." Was it Web Planet?
Yeah. Yes, I remember. Yeah.
Web Planet's not. It's not the worst Doctor Who story out there. So it's all good. Hoovy and Callum said, "Love Battlefield." Ad says there'll be no battle here.
There'll be no battle
haven't
here.
Heard that rant jingle in a while. The rant jingle is back. Yeah, man. Making a comeback. So Louise, running Hoovian, welcome. Maybe.
Oh, Sarah, I can just imagine her watching us at the same time, running with her laptop.
Yeah, I hope you're doing all right.
Always running.
Alex Kingdom, 2 streams in a row. Yeah, welcome, dude. Matt Steele doing an entire McCoy watch at the moment, and so far Battlefield is the only one I've fallen asleep through. Oh, no.
Oh, right. Okay.
That's a good and a bad thing, I suppose. It's bad that you fell asleep during Doctor Who. But good because, that's a lot of better stories, so hopefully you won't fall asleep in those other ones. Matt Steele, that was me. Yeah, Rant Jingle. One day, Adam, I genuinely thought I'd meet Tennant. Yeah, well, Adam, you will meet him one day, dude.
The thing was with the Tennant situation is it was more how that all happened on that day. So we were all at LFCC, weren't we? And it was just, he was announced while everyone was there. So basically the whole entire Olympia just jumped on their phone and were trying to book photo shoots at the same time. So it was very difficult to actually get a shoot with him. It was just one of those things. I just felt like it wasn't meant to be for me at that time, but hopefully there'll be another chance. He seems to be doing more UK cons now, which is very promising, or he was anyway. Hopefully that day will come because he is the only Doctor I haven't met. So I need to tick that box.
No worries, dude. Yep. Who else we got? What do folks think about Zagreus from Battlefield? I was thinking of buying it. Oh, you mean as in the...
Zagreus? Zagreus.
You mean like the
big Finnish one?
I haven't listened to it, bud.
I just have to nip out for one tiny second. I'm sorry, guys. We'll be back in a second. While you talk about Zagreus, I'll just quickly say it's very confusing and quite a slog. That's my thoughts. And I'll be back in literally 30 seconds. Sorry, guys.
This is unprofessionalism at its greatest. Sorry, guys. We also have this on the podcast as well. It's just week after week. Unprofessionalism from Adam. Just all the time. It's like, Gary, I just need to nip off and do this. Or Gary, I just need to do that. Or just bear with me, Gary. I'm getting sick of it, to be honest. So in the next few weeks, there could be an opening for a new host on the show. Because I'm going to tell this one to sod off. Just sick of it. Every bloody week. So anyway, yes. Zagreus. I haven't listened to it, but as Adam said, it could be up your it could be your cup of tea. It could be up your street, but you have to just take a chance. It's probably quite cheap now at Big Finish. So yeah, give it a go. We were only talking about working from home the other night, Gary. I'll be starting working from home in the next day or so. Should be interesting. Oh, nice one, Matt. Yeah, get yourself a little desk set up with a little working area. You'll be all good. Who else we got? Adam, many years ago, you did an interview with Paul Isaacs. Do you still keep in touch with him, and would you meet up again to do another interview?
Yes, I do still keep in touch with him. Paul's someone that I've known for many, many years. Yeah, I do still keep in touch with him. Yeah, I'd be up for doing another chat with him. He's so passionate about Doctor Who, but I haven't seen him for a while, so we do still chat on Facebook and stuff. So yeah, he's a really nice guy, is Paul. As I said, we go back a long way. So yes, I'd be up for doing some more with Paul.
Upcoming video for the Geek's Handbag.
He has suggested it a few times actually, and as usual, it's more to do with a bit like we talked about the podcast earlier. Like I've got a few vids half finished in the vault, in the Geeks Vault, and I really, really, really want to get them finished because they're ones that I'm quite pleased with, sort of thing in terms of what I managed to film. So I sort of every time we've suggested things like that, I've been like, yeah, I just want to get these done, and then sort of then they're done, and I can publish them, and then I can start afresh. But I never seem to find the time. It's just that old devil time. Yeah. That's all it is. But yeah, I would like to do some more of him. He's a nice guy, is Paul.
Who asked that question? Who asked that?
I don't know, but I'm pleased because those videos were really early on in the Geeks Handbag. That was years ago. Yeah, so thanks for watching those. Yeah,
nice one, Craig. Matt, I'm on the verge of hopefully leaving my current job to be a UX designer because I'm sick of it. If it all falls through, Gary, you need a web designer. Here I am. Nice one, dude. So you're going to leave to be a UX. So hit me up if you need any advice or anything about that stuff, dude. I won't chat about it here, but yeah, just let me know if you need any advice on that stuff. Will you ever go to Science of the Time Lords? It's a great event.
Oh, we've been wanting to do that, haven't we?
I went to the Space Centre at Leicester because it's only up the road from me now. And I saw a poster for it while I was there, and I thought, I must try and check that out. But it just happens that the last couple of years I've done it, I couldn't go because I was busy. But it does look like a cool little event.
It does. I love the look of the setting. Yeah, I've always wanted to do that one.
Just to give you guys a heads up, we're going to be closing the stream, ending the stream in about 15, 20 minutes-ish. So, yeah, if you've got any questions you want to fire us and get them over, and we'll do that.
Why is Alex saying poor Adam?
Poor Adam. Your shoulders must ache, Gary. Keep carrying it. Oh, yeah, I was just having a bit of a whinge while you went off. I said all nice things, mate. I said...
I'm sure I shall be going back and checking. Don't you worry.
Thing, don't worry. Beef. Somebody left the oven on.
It was something like that. Actually, it was to do with dinner. I was like, I'm just coming.
Best to listen to all the early McGann stories before Zagat. Yeah, it's not a bad shout, Ryan. Going to do some of the early Eighth Doctor stuff. Martin Arnold. That's a comment someone else. Science is great. Yeah, I think you've been to that one a couple of times, Sarah. In fact, I think didn't you cosplay 1 year? I think you cosplayed 1 year at that one. Yes. So any more questions you got, guys? Just fire them over. And this has gone pretty well, actually, dude, in terms of, I know we had a bit of a technical gremlin beforehand, but if you guys are up for it, might do podcast live streamage. Might do a live podcast. We'll see.
That's asking for trouble. That'll be the day that absolutely everything goes wrong. But it'll make for great television, though. So who cares?
The only thing, yeah, like Adam and I were saying at the very beginning of this live stream, there's sometimes quite a few times where one of us will let slip a little boo-boo, like we'll mess something up, or one of us will swear. And it's very easy with a podcast because I can edit that out afterwards. It's all fine. But with a live stream, I don't know. We might do it, though. We might do it. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't mind. I'm up for it.
Have you guys been to Cardiff at all? If so, what do you think? Hate Cardiff? No, I love Cardiff, dude. Go to Cardiff about 3 or 4 times every year. Love it. So I used to go because a lot of my dad's side of the family are from Wales. So we end up going over there quite a lot. And obviously, when the Doctor Who experience was there, we used to go over there a few times and do that as well. So yes, love Cardiff, Alex. If you can get over there, dude, go and spend the day there. It's very cool. You like Cardiff, didn't you, mate?
I've only ever been once, and I absolutely bloody loved it. In fact, I was only saying just before we started recording, because obviously I was watching Torchwood, and there's lots of sweeping shots of Cardiff all the way through, as there always is in any episode of Torchwood. And I was saying to my other half, I said, "Oh, I blimmin' love Cardiff." I said, I had such a good couple of days there. I mean, because it feels just like you're walking onto the set of Torchwood. You're walking onto so many Doctor Who locations that you don't even realise. It's yeah, it's just, for me, it's just a great place. There was a really good vibe as well. Like all the restaurants we went in, and people just seemed like really friendly. And, you know, like sometimes you go to London, the staff look like they don't want to be there, and, oh, what can I get you? And, you know, there was a great vibe to Cardiff. I loved it. I really would like to go back. It's just surprisingly expensive to go via train for me, which is why I haven't been back. It's the only reason I haven't been back is because it actually costs quite a lot of money to go there. I probably could go to Spain for the same price of going to Cardiff, and including the hotel. But yeah, one day I shall go back because I love it, even though Ed's Diner isn't there anymore, which I blimmin' loved Ed's Diner. But yeah, I'd love to go back. In fact, me and you, I've always wanted to go there with you. We've said it a few times, haven't we? I'd love to go to Cardiff with you. It would just be brilliant just to walk down the bay around the Torchwood Millennium Centre together and all of that stuff. The castle.
Yeah, it'd be cool. Yeah.
Cardiff Castle, all of that. I'd love to do that again. Yeah, I'd love it.
Mate.
Just love
we'll
it.
Do that. Definitely do that.
Mm. Yeah, we should.
I'll be living in Cardiff for uni from September. Oh, nice one, Alex. You won't regret that, dude. Yeah. Yep.
Oh, wow. Amazing, Alex. You'll love it.
I'd love to see, if possible, an outtake podcast. I might do that, actually. I'll have to use the beep thing. But, yeah, I could do that. I'm up for watching you both effing and blinding when Gary's mic breaks and Adam's camera cracks. Yeah, we've had it all, mate. We've had all of... I think we've gone through over the years, we've gone through every technical gremlin and cybermat there is, and, you know.
Oh, do you remember that day when we decided we were going to record over something other than Skype? What was it? And I completely lost my rag, didn't I? Because everything just wouldn't work.
Discord. Yeah, I think.
What was Discord? Oh, we tried to record over Discord one day, and I think I was in a bad mood to begin with, to be honest. But I just lost it, and I was like, "Oh, this stupid!" I was like, nothing would work. Like the mics wouldn't work. I couldn't get it installed. That was the worst. just remember really losing my rag when we tried to do that.
One of those, why have you clicked this bit? Yeah, I've clicked that.
I know. I was like, yes, I've clicked it. So I was in a bad mood that day, and Discord just sent me over the edge.
It's a bit crotchety.
I was. I can't deny it. I'm just not good with technology. It comes back to what I was saying earlier. I like things that I'm familiar with. I like things that work. Like everybody's using Zoom at the moment. And I was like, what is this Zoom? And Ad was talking me through it. And I was like, oh, it's not working, Ad. He's like, oh, I'll send you a link. Oh, I don't like new things. I fear change.
Like Garth from Wayne's World.
Fear change.
Funny though. It's like, so what? It was light and fluffy to begin with. I was like, so go and install this. You know, it's all fine. And then I'll send you the link. Join it. It's all fine. He's like, yeah, I've got this. It's all good. And then about 10, 15 minutes later, he's like, well, what bloody switch? I'm like, well, the one that you're looking at right in front of you, just flick that on. Well, it is on. Well, you just said that it wasn't. Well, I must have made a mistake. It is on. All right, well, restart it and have another go. Fine. And we had a restart. It's still not bloody working. I'm done with this.
Needless to say, we have never recorded on anything other than Skype since.
Yeah, we've had fun and games, mate, over the years trying to get it all working. But like I said, for the most part, we've been going since 2014, and I can count on one hand the amount of times that we've said, actually, this is just not going to work. We'll have to
No, we normally find a way.
Life finds a way.
Yeah, Ad will love that. That's Jeff Goldblum, isn't it? Life finds a way.
You two are like an old married couple, Zach Jenkins. Yeah, it feels like it.
Yes, we are.
Yeah.
It scares me how long we've been doing this, because I do think we are like a married couple, because I always think it feels like yesterday that I got that text from you saying about yeah, that Remembrance podcast we did went down pretty well. How do you fancy coming on full time? And I was like, oh yeah, that sounds good. But that literally feels like about a month ago that you sent me that text, and it's what, how many years?
6 or 7. Yeah.
Oh man, where does it go? Where does it go?
Yeah, it's been a roller coaster.
Terrifying. Yeah.
Anyone that's not a Doctor Who fan will be like, what are you going on about? You only do a podcast. Yeah. But yes, Sarah said, it's a sad day when the experience closed. Did a great location. Yeah, it was all great, that stuff, Sarah. It was all good. Yep.
Did you ever get to go on the walking tour?
I didn't do that.
That they did, because I always wanted to do that, and they were never doing it when I went down there. But yeah, I'd love to have done that.
No, like I wanted to do it as well, mate. But yeah.
Did you do the console as well? Because I was lucky enough they were doing the Capaldi set tour. Yeah, that was amazing. Absolutely. Oh man, that just, even the thought of that, incredible.
Sleep No More. Yeah. Watch along. I'm sure Gary will love it. Craig, if you were here, mate, I would have slapped you for that. I'd have given you a backhander for suggesting such a thing.
Yeah.
So no, we won't be doing a Sleep No More. Watch along. Tech question from Alex. What do you guys use for your website? WordPress, etc. Yes, we do use WordPress. We use WordPress with a bunch of custom post types and a custom theme and all that jazz. So yeah, all WordPress, dude. Martin Arnold, I love Sleep No More. Oh, Jesus. It's so bonkers. Even the doctor at the end says the whole thing is crazy before they all bugger off. Yeah, it's Martin. I can't say anything. It's your opinion, bud. Love you for that, but crikey.
I've only ever watched it once, so I don't feel. Yeah, I don't feel really I'm justified to say, because I don't know. I've never gone back to it, so I don't know.
Yeah, I think I hated it. I still do. I freaking hate that bloody episode.
You do, yeah. It really gets you going, that one, doesn't it?
Jurassic Park.
Adam.
Yeah, so I don't know if you're saying that as in like, yes, Jurassic Park, or if you're doing like the Alan Partridge Jurassic Park thing. I don't know, but yeah, Jurassic Park. On behalf of all of us, thank you both for smashing the podcast pretty much every week for 6 years. But where do you see the pod in another 6 years?
Do you ask you a question?
In the bin. Once we've reviewed every story, and then we've done series 13 or whatever, we'll just kick it to the curb.
That'll be it, yeah. Well, then we'll start doing the Blake 7 podcast that I've been wanting to do for years.
One and all the rest of it.
And then the Wurzel Gummidge podcast, yeah.
Yeah, we'll probably just sack it off, mate. I won't have to listen to his moaning then.
They might have actually got the remastered Wurzel Gummidge set out by then.
If you're lucky.
If we're lucky.
Christ, yeah. Christ, yeah. You two are some of the best gents in the fandom. Keep up your pudding and content. See you guys for several bevies on the next, on the other side of this madness. Oh, cheers, dude. Yeah, cheers.
Absolutely.
Of the ones you've reviewed, guys, what do you think is the most overrated story? Says Beefy. Overrated story.
I always find Doctor's Wife overrated. I never quite get why people rave about that one. I mean, it's not bad. I'm happily watch it anytime, but I don't get why it's so highly thought of, if you like.
Yeah, I can't. Do you know what? It's one of those questions that I can never answer on the spot. But if you give me like half an hour, I'll come up with a few. But on the spot, yeah, I think Doctor's Wife's one of them. Probably The Impossible Astronaut's another one that a lot of people go on about, but I can't really get into it a lot. It's not too bad, but I just can't seem to get into it.
Some people think Blink's overrated, but I personally think Blink is a genuine classic. I love Blink. Yeah. But a lot of people say, I don't get why people love that one so much. But would you agree?
Yeah, I personally love it. But yeah,
I think it's a great story. Yeah.
Agree with everyone has said. I love that you two are still going, and may this continue for years and years to come. Proper comfort podcast. Oh, cheers, dude. Who's Gargantuan Apple? Is that Lewis Palmer? Yeah, nice one.
Yes, it is. Yep.
Will you do another revisit like you did a couple of years ago? Well, we've got a few ones to revisit because before before Adam jumped onto the podcast proper, I'd already done like 7 or 8 episodes and reviews and stuff on my own. So we need to go back and do those ones again. So a review of both of us doing those. So yes, we've got a few to revisit, and we might do like some of the big ones. Like we haven't even done Day of the Doctor yet.
No, we haven't. I always think we have, and we haven't.
And
yeah,
some of the big ones, like the Five Doctors, like those big event style ones, like the Five Doctors, and maybe some of the regen stories. We'll go back and do those as well. And yeah, I've always wondered what will happen when you've reviewed everything. Well, hopefully, we'll still get new Doctor Who.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Yes, you should host a Blake 7 watch along, Adam. Yeah, Adam, you should do that.
I'd love to. I might do that actually. Yeah, yeah. Because I know I'll end up staying up till 4 a.m. watching the whole series.
Love you guys. Been you guys for a long time, and don't plan. Yeah, Alex, you've been one of our long time listeners, dude. So appreciate that, mate.
Yeah, yeah.
We salute your contribution to the Who community. Yeah, cheers, Dean. Cheers. Thank you very much, guys. You guys are always so kind whenever people's opinions are. You truly do it right. People should take note of how you do things. Absolute great models for how to be respectful in fandom. Oh, Craig, that means a lot, dude. That means a lot because,
yes.
Yeah, one thing that
Thanks,
Adam
mate.
and I said right from the very beginning. In fact, I don't even think we didn't explicitly state this or say even to each other, but we've just always had this kind of silent rule and this kind of understanding that we were never. There were like a few things that were like the unspoken rules. I think that we just kind of. I think that's why Adam and I are so good on the podcast. I'm not blowing our own trumpets here, but I think that's why we work well because we have a few understandings that are just in sync. And the first one is we don't do rumours and BS. We've never been a podcast that will like, oh, there's this cool thing that's happening. And it turns out that, oh, it was just a paper that just wrote a load of crap. And, you know, so we never do rumours and all that. And the other thing is we don't, we'll never bash anybody for their opinion on anything to do with Doctor Who. So we never said that when we first started podcasting. We never said, right, here are the rules. You know, we're going to do this, or not this. It's just one of those things that we've just had a mutual understanding of silently since those early days. You know, if someone hates an episode of Doctor Who, then that's completely fine. If someone loves it, that's also fine. You know, your opinion is your opinion, and that's all good. The only thing that we don't like and we won't tolerate or put up with is when people start being a dick about it. So when you start being horrible or nasty or you start bullying other Who fans within fandom, that's when we have a problem and we'll kick you out. So, you know, that's just our thing. So, yeah, thanks for that, dude. We've always tried to do that, even with episodes as well, even when there's been, even Sleep No More, where I completely destroyed it, you know, on the podcast. When we had the listener reviews in and we were going through and playing those out and we were reading them out, you know, if people were loving it and stuff, then that's fair play. That's all good. You know, if you, just because your opinion is different to mine or ours, then that's totally cool. It's completely cool. It's just, yeah, we've just never been into that. We've never just, you know, got into people just because they think a certain way. It's just not it's not our thing.
No, I don't like, there's a very common trend with fandom at the moment where there are certain people that love to shout down other people for having a difference of opinion, and they quite often use things to do that. You know, they'll say, oh, you're being this, that, the other, and I think, no, you're just trying, you just can't accept that someone's got a different opinion to you. Just let them have their opinion. And I think that's what we certainly try to do anyway, is we'll give our opinion and we like to listen to other people's opinion, and whether it agrees with us or doesn't agree with us. But I really don't like it when people try and become like a voice or mouthpiece for fandom and try and shoot other people down for having a difference of opinion, because why would we all have the same opinion? It would be so boring. So I think in a way what I'm trying to say is we try and embrace it, really, you know, even if you don't agree with someone. I just think it's much more interesting if we've all got different opinion on stuff. So yeah, we just try and be inclusive that way, really. Like Gary said, it's more, well, I don't think we even think about it. We don't sort of sit down and think, right, you know, we need to be like that. It's just the way we are. We just like to interact with people and get different viewpoints.
Yeah, exactly that, mate. Exactly that. It's just, it's really cool, actually. Sometimes when we didn't like a story or we loved it, and then we get a review in and they say, oh, they've got the complete opposite opinion. That's what makes it really interesting. That's what makes, if we all shared the same opinion, we'd just be a bunch of yes people, like, yes, it's great. And I know, I'm not going to say anybody, but there's quite a few people on Twitter who are absolutely like that, where they'll just be like, yes, everything's amazing, everything's awesome all the time, and it's not, and that's fine. It's okay. It's, everything doesn't have to be amazing and awesome all the time. It's just I think ultimately, because we're going to round out this stream now, I think ultimately we just try and keep it sounds a bit corny, but we just try and keep it real. Just try and keep it, down to earth, and we don't, we call the BBC out as well. If something's not great, then we'll say it's not great. If something's not good, then we'll say it. And if people agree, then that's great. If not, that's also fine.
It's very true, actually. And I know at a couple of the BFIs we've been to recently, we've been made aware that there are people involved in the show that listen to the podcast and they enjoy it. And there is part of you that has that in the back of your mind to think, I maybe, do I want to say that because that might get back? But then you do say it because otherwise there's no point. That I think both of us would rather just come on and give an honest opinion and just say that's how, a bit like when I was talking about class earlier, it's my honest opinion. There's no offense to anyone involved in it. And that's how we go forward. It's just, there's sometimes the sort of pressure in the back of your mind not to speak your mind because perhaps somebody involved in the show will hear it and you'll see them at a future event and and that does happen, I'm afraid, but it hasn't stopped us giving our honest opinion because we just will, and we're not doing it to offend anyone. We're not trying to be a mouthpiece to anything. We're just literally, it's as black and white as this. We're just watching a show and saying what we thought was good and bad about it. And it's as simple as that.
I'm not going to name any names, but there's been a few occasions where we've lined up people who have been involved in the show to come on and let us interview them on the podcast. And they've just dicked around and they're, oh, you guys better not ask me these questions, and I'd prefer it if you didn't ask me that, and we can't talk about this, and it has to be vetted, all that. And when we go down that road, I'm just like, nah, you're okay. If we're not going to interview you and ask you like carefully curated, structured questions. Yeah, you either come on and you talk about how you feel about the show honestly, or I'm sure there's some other podcasts out there that would love to have you on that will do that stuff. So. Yeah, there's been a few people that have been involved with the show that we've come close to having on, and it's got to that point where we're like, nah, we'll give it a miss, thanks. You can, we're not going to tiptoe around and all that stuff. And the thing is, we said up front, we're not going to ask you anything. We're not going to back you into a corner anyway. We're a friendly podcast, we're family, family podcast and everything. And, we'd never back you into a corner and do all that stupidness. We're just going to have a frank, friendly chat about the show, and that's it. But they still, for fear of upsetting people or whatever. So yeah, there's been a few people. I'm not going to say who they are, but we've come very close to having them on to interview, and they've just so we've been like, nah, yeah, I'll read. Yeah, so there we go. That's gonna close out. That's gonna close out the stream. But I can see you guys saying about us. Appreciating honesty and agreeing with us. So yeah, that's why we have such a great community around the podcast, because we have a lot of like-minded listeners and fans that appreciate that stuff. And so yeah, it's just great to have you guys on board. It's all good.
Absolutely. I did say the other day when we finished wrapping up our pod, didn't I, about it was asked to listen to the listeners' audio reviews. I just said, we get some of the same voices every week. I just said how amazing it is. I did genuinely say this, didn't I? I just said I just love our community of listeners, didn't I? I'm not just saying that because we're on the live stream. I actually said that to you. I just listened to the, just the feedback we get every week. I just said, God, we've really got like a really cool, like I said, we hear some of the same names every week. It's just this sort of community that we've built up around the podcast. I just love it. Yeah, genuinely love it.
Great. Martin Arnold said it's the end of the stream, but the moment has been prepared for. Podcast on Friday. So keep an eye on the socials, guys. We'll let you know if we do end up doing a streamed podcast. We'll have a chat between ourselves, and we're recording tomorrow, aren't we, dude? Is it Tuesday today?
We're recording tomorrow.
Yeah,
yes,
so
we're recording tomorrow.
We'll see how we feel. We'll let you guys know. So just keep an eye on the socials if that's the case. But yeah, so thank you so much, guys, for jumping on and hanging out for a while and chatting Doctor Who. It's been awesome as always, and however long this madness and weirdness goes on for, just hope you guys are just staying safe and taking heed of the advice and the rules and stuff, and staying your asses at home and all that stuff. And yeah, we don't want any of our listeners to come down with anything nasty. So just take care of yourselves and take care of each other. Sounds like Jerry Bloody Springer, but
it does. I was thinking that.
Take care of each other and all that stuff. So yeah, it's been awesome having you on, dude. The first live stream. I'm hoping this won't be the last. It's been awesome, bud.
No, it's been great. I just can't believe how quick it's gone as well. Amazing. Yeah, fantastic. Really great just to chat to all you guys out there, this commenting and stuff as well. Yes. Amazing. Love it. We shall do it again.
Yes. So yeah, once again, thank you so much, guys. Thank you for chilling out. Those of you that have been fresh to the Big Blue Box, we do a podcast that goes out every Friday. So just head over to bigblueboxpodcast.co.uk. You can listen to everything on there. Plus, we've got a bunch of great articles and writers that do all that stuff. So go and check that out as well. And subscribe to this YouTube channel so you don't miss when all these live streams and whatnot go out. So yeah, thanks a lot, guys, and we will see you all soon. See you later, guys.
Take care.